If you've been scrolling through endless rows of soundbars, watching YouTube breakdowns, and still can't decide whether any of them actually make a difference on a movie night, this review is here to clear that up. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I spent a few evenings setting up the TCL Q65H 5.1 channel soundbar with the brand new 65-inch QD Mini LED TV, and I'm going to tell you exactly what felt right and where the combo falls short, so you can avoid the buyer's remorse that comes from guessing. First off, let's talk about the core promise, a TV that looks like a cinema screen paired with a soundbar that claims Dolby Atmos and DTS for a room-filling experience. The biggest hesitation most people have is whether a single-box soundbar can really separate dialogue from an action-packed soundtrack without drowning you in bass. In my test, the Q65H's dialogue clarity was surprisingly solid. When I watched a sitcom with rapid back-and-forth banter, the voices stayed crisp, even when the background music swelled. That's because the unit places a dedicated center-channel speaker in the bar itself, so the spoken word doesn't get lost behind the whoosh of effects. If you often stream news, sports, or talk-heavy shows, you'll notice that you don't have to keep turning the volume up to hear the commentators. Bass performance is where many budget-friendly 5.1 bars stumble, and the Q65H is no exception. It comes with a wireless subwoofer that can be tucked under a couch or placed on a shelf. In a medium-sized living room, around 250 square feet, the sub delivered a respectable thump that added weight to explosions and low-frequency music beats, but it never turned the room into a rattling box. If you have a very large open-plan space or a home theater with high ceilings, you'll probably want a more powerful sub or a dedicated speaker pair to fill the area. On the other hand, for apartments or tighter spaces, the sub's controlled output is actually a benefit. You get impact without worrying about disturbing neighbors. Surround effect is the next practical piece to evaluate. The Q65H uses virtual surround processing rather than true rear speakers. In practice, that means you get a sense of directionality that's decent for movies, but it isn't the same as a true 5.1 setup where sound really comes from behind you. When I played a chase scene from a recent blockbuster, I could hear the footsteps moving from left to right, and the occasional whoosh seemed to travel around me, but the rear cues felt more like a widened soundstage than discrete rear speakers. If you're looking for genuine surround immersion, a multi-speaker system would still beat this. However, for most casual viewers who just want a step up from TV speakers, the virtual surround does feel like an upgrade. Room size fit is something the manufacturer highlights, and the reality lines up for most standard living rooms. The bar itself is about 40 inches wide, which fits nicely under a 65-inch TV without overhanging the screen edges. The remote that controls both TV and soundbar is a single, slim unit that toggles between volume, source, and a quick Dolby Atmos button. I found the remote frictionless. The buttons have just enough travel that you don't accidentally press the wrong one, and the on-screen display clearly tells you whether you're adjusting the TV picture or the bar's audio mode. If you have a very deep TV stand or a wall mount that leaves no clearance, you might need to think about the sub's placement because it can be a bit bulky for tight cabinets. Connectivity is where the Q65H shines for everyday use. It has an HDMI ARC port that lets you sync audio directly from the TV with a single cable, and the TV's built-in Google TV interface works seamlessly with the soundbar's HMI control. I could launch Netflix on the TV, and the bar automatically switched to the movie preset, boosting the dialogue boost and widening the soundstage. There's also an optical input for older consoles or Blu-ray players, and Bluetooth streaming worked reliably with my phone for a quick music night. One minor hiccup: the Bluetooth latency is noticeable when watching videos on the phone, so I recommend sticking to wired or HDMI sources for synced audio. Now, who should actually buy this bundle? If you're upgrading from a thin-panel TV that only has built-in speakers, and you want a noticeable jump in both picture quality and sound without breaking the bank, this set is a solid middle ground. It's perfect for families that watch a mix of TV shows, streaming movies, and occasional gaming sessions, especially if you value easy setup. Just plug the HDMI cable, place the sub, and you're ready. The Dolby Atmos label is more of a marketing badge than a full-blown object-based sound system, but the processing does give a sense of height that makes explosions feel more expansive. Who should skip it? If you're a true audiophile who insists on discrete rear speakers, a dedicated sub with deep, controllable low end, or you have a large home theater where you want calibrated sound.